Hello, cyclocross fans, and welcome back to BTB TV, Behind the Barriers Television. This is your weekend preview. First off, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday if you're watching this on Friday. Hope you guys got some sleep. No need to wake up early. This show doesn't come out till about noon or so. So, good week, a good weekend. We have two different races, completely different venues, completely different sides of the country. First off, in California, in Los Angeles, we have CXLA, part of the Cross After Dark series, 2 days of UCI C2 racing out there. Then back here on the East Coast, right down the street from Behind the Barriers headquarters in Sterling, Massachusetts, we have the Bay State Cyclocross part of the New England series. Again, 2 days of UCI C2 races. Let's go right to the weather this weekend. Here on the East Coast, Bay State, it is going to be very, very cold. We got a little bit of rain on Wednesday. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at highs right around freezing. So if you're there in the morning, the low is going to be well below freezing, so it's definitely going to be hard-packed and frozen in the early mornings. If it does crack above that freezing line in the afternoon there, you could be looking at some greasy corners, a little bit of slippage, but no rain in the forecast for the weekend. Oh, that's not true. I take that back. On Sunday, no rain in the forecast, but actually a slight chance of some snow flurries overnight, maybe 20% chance of snow. So I don't really believe it, but we will see when we get there. On the West Coast, it's going to be perfect California fall winter weather. Highs of around 56 to 57 all week long. No rain in the forecast. Should be dry, fast. Of course, Saturday night in California going to be the Cross After Dark, the night race. So temperatures probably going to drop a little bit into the low 50s, high 40s, but should still be perfect skin suit, comfortable cross weather. Let's talk about the course preview. Here on the East Coast, Bay State, one of my favorite all-time New England cyclocross courses. Takes place at, I guess it's a middle school out there. The start and finish take place on a really unique 400-meter cinder block track. So flat, very fast, although around those corners on the bends with the cinder making it pretty sketchy, pretty slippery, makes for some fun final sprint finishes. It is an overall pretty fast course, probably not the defining feature, but the feature that always ends up in the photographs, the feature that the spectators hang around. There is this, I guess it's called it's a horse jump. Trying to think of how to describe it. It's like 3 telephone poles stacked up, going sideways, on top of each other, and then a flat surface on top, a flat surface on the bottom. So going the other direction on a mountain bike, it would be a really sick drop. Going this way on a cross bike, it is not only a dismount for basically everybody, but a very challenging dismount, a very large step up. It favors the taller riders, the longer-legged riders. If you are able to ride it, which maybe a handful of people have ever done in the past, guys like Adam Craig have ridden it. I think Raphael Gagne has ridden it numerous times. There's always a Keo out there that rides it as well, but that one's very cool. Moving out to California, much flatter course, a lot of dirt, more dirt, less grass than an average cyclocross course. Again, there's barriers. There's a little bit of elevation change, but not much. There's a log that some riders can ride out there. But again, probably not the defining feature, but the coolest feature out there is this sort of BMX pump track whoop section that the cross bikes go through, and there's a couple nice berms and some doubles that a few people were getting pretty gnarly on last year. The start lists. We'll start with out in California. On the women's side, I literally looked at the start list today. I don't recognize 95% of the names. There were only like 6 names registered. I'm assuming that there's going to be a giant wave of registrants here in the 11th hour. But as of today, that race totally wide open. I'm not even going to touch it right now. But we're going to get maybe not a surprise winner, but we will definitely get some surprise top 10 finishers, some ladies out there getting some UCI points. On the men's side, it's a pretty solid field. We have Adam Craig, who's been coming on to some good cyclocross form lately, just started his season not too long ago. He will be down there from the Northwest. Let's see, we got Justin Lundeen coming in, Tobin Ortenbland coming in. I'm almost afraid to say their names because they proved me wrong last weekend when Ben Bairden didn't show up to the Supercross Cup in New York. But Ben Bairden and Tim Johnson, neither one registered as of filming this right now, but they've both been rumored to be heading out there. So if those guys are heading out there, they're going to be looking for those points as part of the USA Cycling Pro CX calendar. They could be very good. But probably the most exciting rider that I will be keeping my eye on is the Cal Giant Specialized rider, Logan Owen. So we've talked about him all season long. The junior last year, the 8-time defending junior national champion, came into the elite ranks, and he has been on fire this season. A lot of 4th, 5th, and 6th place finishes. This I truly believe will be the weekend that he gets definitely his first UCI podium, maybe 2 of them, but I really think that he could be the guy to take at least one of the victories this weekend in California. And that would be huge. If you go back and look, when was the last time a first-year elite rider took a UCI victory? Zach McDonald didn't do it. Nick Wayhall, the Keos, Cody Kaiser. It's been, I don't know if it's ever been done. Back on this side of the country at the Bay State Cyclocross here in Massachusetts, let's look at the women's race. We will have Laura Van Gilder coming off a win this past weekend at the Supercross Cup in New York. Crystal Anthony coming back from the World Cup where she had an okay ride. She will be here as well. Mo Bruno Roy will be there. Emma White coming off 2 very solid podium rides. Although the favorite, once from New England, now from California, she'll be back in town for Thanksgiving. I'm talking about, of course, the Cal Giants specialized rider, Elle Anderson. She grew up here, she went to school here, she works out at Strava now, but she will be back, and she will definitely be the favorite for both days at Bay State. On the men's side, sort of like this past weekend in New York, where we have maybe 1 or 2 solid favorites. Jeremy Powers is rumored to be thinking about racing. I don't know whether that means 2 days, 1 day. My guess would be he probably races just on Sunday, but then we have that second tier pack of guys that are ready to go. We got Jeremy Duran, who finally cracked the podium after so many weeks of being very close. We have Curtis White, the first-year U23 rider who rode very well in New York as well to score his first podium. Guys like Anthony Clark, and then like we said, all those guys who maybe use this as an opportunity to get some of their first or only UCI points of the season. So guys like Adam Meyerson, who was pretty close last week and just outside the top 10. Maybe this, a fast course, is where he finds his way into the top 10. Let's talk about your SRAM key to the race. The key to the race this weekend will be no thank you. As in, no thank you, I don't need any more pumpkin pie. No thank you, 1 serving of mashed potatoes will be just fine. Thanksgiving, guys. It's on Thursday. We're all going to see family. We're all going to sit down. We're all going to have a giant meal. But Thursday's a training day. If you're racing on the weekend, Thursday you're either resting, you're training, you're doing something. You're definitely not supposed to be getting fat 2 days before the weekend. So enjoy Thanksgiving if you're not racing. If you are racing, enjoy it, but still think about Saturday and Sunday, because the last thing you want to be doing is carrying a gut full of turkey into the weekend. I don't know. Just my personal thoughts. That's it for the show this week, guys. Go ahead, check down below if you're watching this on BehindTheBarriers.tv. We will have updated start sheets. Let's see if Tim and Ben and Jeremy are actually registered, if they're actually going to race, or if they're going to sit it out. Maybe they're just waiting to see how they feel on their post-Thanksgiving hangover. We got hashtags down there. We got the Twitters you can follow, the Facebooks, the race things, everything you can look up, everything you can want. We've got good stuff here, guys. Check out the shows this past week. Monday's show, Sam's show, Behind the Barriers, was very cool. We went behind the scenes with Adam Craig for, I think, a 30-minute episode, so put some time aside for that. How the race was won, who's number 1. It's good stuff. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next weekend.